Pablo Picasso once said, "Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up." You've probably heard this before. I'd like to add, how do we remain audiences once we grow up? Dear all, it's lovely to see you here at Dansens Hus, and I'd like to thank NPU for inviting me to this opening, and also that the Oslo City Council is very happy to host, together with Akershus County Council, this conference, and also to contribute to this realization, and I hope that you will all be at the City Hall this evening. NPU has proven itself as an increasingly important network for vendors in the art scene throughout the country, and it contributes very valuable insights to all of you, but also to us as politicians, on how to discuss audience and also how to build new audiences and maintain those we already have, to share experience and also to be in a debate with one's peers. This annual conference is a central meeting place for the different stakeholders, and we are very, very happy that you have chosen to be here in my city, in Oslo. The theme of this conference, how to create dedication and interest in art and culture among young and young adult audiences, is extremely important in society and also in our municipal cultural policies. Our success in communicating with younger audiences will define our success in the long term. I also think that the interest in this year's conference and the audience and participation from all of you shows that this topic engages very wide. That makes me optimistic that this topic will be in the center of attention for 2 full days with high quality professional content and all the sharing that you will be doing. It gives me great optimism in the future for the culture sector. My ambitions are to include as broad as possible, both in the making of arts, in the art infrastructure in Oslo, and also in engaging the public as an audience in our art scene. We have just started a shift in the cultural policies of Oslo. We transferred the culture school in the city from the school sector to the culture sector, making young people more important in the culture scene and the culture field of that. We've also supported a great number of new initiatives in theater, in film, in music, especially towards children and young audiences in this city. If we believe in the power of art, the importance of art for the person who opens his eyes, who feels something completely differently, or understands something completely new, we must also try to bring the power of art to as many people as possible. To new people, to those who we believe will enjoy it, and to those who are more open, like children and young people. On behalf of the Oslo municipality, the NPU has mapped the behavior patterns and level of attention in Oslo's different districts among children and young people. You will have this presented later today. This survey has given us valuable insights and will provide an important basis for our further work on developing the culture sector for the children of the city. And I think that also means developing the culture sector for the future. We need to watch who participates and who don't across demographics. I think it's our duty as the political leaders of this city and of this society to lay a foundation that ensures that as many children as possible, as many young people as possible can experience, can participate in culture activities, because I believe in the power of art. I wish you all a rewarding and fruitful days here at Dansens Hus, and welcome to Oslo.
Good morning. You look like a wonderful audience. Have you been developed? I think so. I think you have been well developed, and you're perhaps also developers in this sense. Anyway, it's an honor for Akershus County Council to co-host this NPU conference, and we're very happy to see that the conference is sold out. That means that we are a lot of people that share an interest in audience development and how to make the best possible future for our common arts field. Increased cultural diversity is the main aim for the strategic plan for arts and culture in Akershus. It was adopted last year. We're very proud of it. And we mean that increased cultural diversity in the audience, but not only in the audience, also on stage, behind the stage, and in programming and management positions. We share the NPU's and Audiences Norway's vision that art and culture should have a central position in the lives of a broader spectrum of people in our society. This is especially important in terms of the publicly funded art institutions and culture organizations. It is key that we find ways to make publicly funded art and culture events relevant for more than 2/3 of the population. We need to constantly work towards lowering the threshold and increasing the engagement to participate. Because what is really at stake here? A slip of the tongue, a Freudian slip. What is really at stake? If we agree that culture is the meaning of life, we have to, and we build roads not to make life meaningful for people, but for people to get to places that are meaningful and see art and participate in whatever arts and culture there is available to them. If we really mean that, we have to ask ourselves, who are going to come and listen and look at our art and culture programs? For whom are we performing? And why are we doing it? And if we really mean that this is an important field, and if it is the meaning of life, and it is the way to develop identity and attachment and belonging to the community you live in, then we really have to think about how to get people to come, how to get people to participate, how this kretsløp in Norwegian, how this all works and links together. It's crucially important. The focus of this year's NPU conference, Young Audiences, is particularly interesting for us in Akershus. Young Audiences is one of the 4 prioritized themes in our strategic plan for arts and culture. Akershus has a substantial population of young people, with 81 students in elementary school and almost 22,000 students in upper secondary schools. There lies a big responsibility on us to give them a best possible introduction to arts and culture, both in terms of education, the possibility to experience and express themselves through art, and to make sure they can participate on their own terms. Challenging stuff, really. At the same time, our regional network for audience development has pointed to young audiences as the trickiest to reach and engage. And believe me, I have teenage children. I know it's tricky to engage and relate on the same level with them. They will say that they have a problem with a mother who's in menopause, and that's very tricky too. But honestly, I think it's teenager in general are a tricky bunch of people to relate to. At least we can say that if you're my age. In one of the conference parallel sessions, to stick with my manuscript here tomorrow, Our head of arts and culture, Tone Østerdal, is going to expand on some of the ways we are trying to work strategically with young audiences. She's much cooler than me, so I think she knows how to do it. But the Akershus County Council also have a big delegation here today at the conference to learn and from listening and meeting all of you. And to those I will say, please bring home a lot of stuff that we can work with and implement in the work that we're doing with our audience development. Our perspective as the Akershus County Council on the audience development is primarily policy making. But we're also dedicated to building new knowledge and finding new approaches to audience development together with partners regionally, nationally, and internationally. Audiences Norway is an important partner for us in making this happen, and the NPU conference is a central arena for networking and knowledge exchange. I wish you the best of luck in the conference, and especially you from Akershus County Council, and you know what you're going to do. And I hope you'll make the most of it over the next 2 days. I think you have a wonderful program. I think this is such a great initiative. All the best to you and good luck again with your conference. Thank you.